In a world overflowing with noise, opinions, and endless chatter, there's a forgotten power, one that Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, mastered centuries ago. This power isn't found in words, but in silence. Imagine facing life's toughest situations, anger, provocation, gossip, and instead of reacting, you hold your tongue. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because sometimes, saying nothing is the most powerful thing you can do. In this video, I'll reveal the 9 situations where silence isn't just golden, it's transformative. Ready to unlock the Stoic secret to mastering your emotions? Let's dive in. 1. When anger clouds your judgment. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his Meditations. Anger, perhaps more than any other emotion, has the ability to consume us, leading to words and actions we often regret. In the heat of the moment, our judgment is clouded, and our instinct might be to lash out verbally. But Stoicism teaches us to pause, to take a step back, and to embrace silence when anger takes hold. Consider this. When someone cuts you off in traffic or a colleague at work undermines your efforts, your immediate reaction might be to respond angrily. But what does that accomplish? More often than not, it escalates the situation, causing more harm than good. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that silence in the face of anger allows us to regain control, to prevent unnecessary conflict, and to act with reason rather than emotion. Example. Picture yourself in an argument with a loved one. Emotions are running high, and you feel the urge to say something hurtful in response to their words. In this moment, silence becomes your greatest ally. By holding back, by choosing not to speak in anger, you allow the emotional storm to pass. And when you do eventually speak, your words are more measured, more thoughtful. The next time you feel anger rising within you, take a deep breath and embrace silence. Use that moment of quiet to reflect on your emotions and consider whether your words will truly serve you, or if they will only add fuel to the fire. In this way, you can avoid the grievous consequences of anger and instead respond with wisdom. 2. When you are being provoked. It is the mark of an educated mind to entertain a thought without accepting it, Marcus Aurelius advises. In life, there will always be people who seek to provoke us, whether it's through insults, challenges, or attempts to undermine our character. The Stoic response to such provocations is simple: silence. When someone provokes you, they are often looking for a reaction. They want to pull you into a conflict, to make you lose your composure. But as a Stoic, your power lies in your ability to remain calm, to rise above the provocation, and to meet it with silence. Example. Imagine someone at work making a snide comment about your performance. You feel the urge to defend yourself, to snap back with a retort. But instead, you choose silence. You refuse to be drawn into their negativity, and in doing so, you maintain your dignity and control over the situation. The next time someone tries to provoke you, resist the urge to engage. Silence is your shield. Let them speak their words, but do not let them penetrate your peace of mind. In your silence, you show that their attempts to provoke you have no power over you. 3. When you don't have all the facts. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius cautions. We live in a world where information is constantly at our fingertips, yet how often do we find ourselves speaking out of turn, making assumptions, or passing judgment without knowing the full story? In Stoicism, there is great value in remaining silent until you have all the facts. Speaking prematurely, without a clear understanding of the situation, can lead to misunderstanding, confusion, and even harm. Silence in these moments is a sign of wisdom, not ignorance. Example. Think about the last time you jumped to a conclusion, only to later realize that you didn't have all the information. Perhaps it was a situation at work where you assumed a colleague was at fault, only to discover that the problem was more complex than you initially thought. In such moments, silence would have served you better than hasty words. Before you speak, especially in situations where the facts are unclear, pause. Ask yourself whether you truly know enough to comment, or if it's better to remain silent until you do. In doing so, you protect yourself from making statements you might later regret. 4. When listening is more powerful than speaking. Learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference, Marcus Aurelius reminds us. In many situations, the most powerful thing you can do is listen rather than speak. In our fast-paced world, we often feel the need to fill every silence with words. But the Stoics teach us that true wisdom comes from listening, from being present and attentive. When you listen, you gain a deeper understanding of the people around you. You learn more about their thoughts, their feelings, and their needs. Silence allows you to absorb information, to reflect on what is being said, and to respond in a thoughtful, measured way. Example: consider a conversation with a friend who is going through a difficult time. They don't need your advice or your opinions. They simply need you to listen. By staying silent, by giving them the space to speak, you provide them with the comfort of being heard, which is far more valuable than any words you could offer. Practice the art of listening. In your conversations, make a conscious effort to listen more and speak less. You'll find that by remaining silent, you gain more insight, and your responses, when they do come, are more meaningful. 5. When you're faced with gossip. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, Marcus Aurelius urges. Gossip is a destructive force, one that thrives on idle talk and negative energy. The Stoics teach us that engaging in gossip is not only unproductive, but also harmful to our character and to those around us. When faced with gossip, the best response is silence. By refusing to participate, you remove yourself from the cycle of negativity and show that you are above such trivial matters. Gossip often serves no purpose other than to bring others down, and by staying silent, you preserve your integrity. Example: picture a group of coworkers talking behind someone's back. It's tempting to join in, to share your own thoughts and opinions. But as a Stoic, you know that your silence speaks louder than any gossip you could contribute. By choosing not to engage, you set an example for others and protect your own peace of mind. The next time you're in a situation where gossip is taking place, choose silence. Resist the urge to contribute, and instead, focus on the things that truly matter. In doing so, you'll find that you rise above the negativity and maintain your inner tranquility. 6. When your words might harm. What we do now echoes in eternity, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Our words have power. They can build up or tear down, heal or harm. The Stoics understood that words once spoken cannot be taken back, and that is why silence is often the better choice, especially when there is a risk that your words could cause harm. In moments of anger or frustration, it's easy to say something hurtful without fully considering the consequences. But Stoicism teaches us to pause, to think before we speak, and to choose silence when our words have the potential to wound others. Example: think of a time when you were upset with someone and said something you later regretted. Perhaps it was an argument with a loved one, where hurtful words were exchanged in the heat of the moment. In such situations, silence would have been the wiser choice, allowing emotions to cool before addressing the issue calmly and respectfully. Before you speak, especially in emotionally charged situations, ask yourself whether your words are likely to cause harm. If the answer is yes, consider remaining silent until you can approach the conversation with a clearer, more compassionate mind. 7. When you haven't processed your emotions. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, Marcus Aurelius reminds us. Emotions are powerful, and when they are left unchecked, they can lead us to say things we don't mean. Stoicism teaches us that before we speak, we must first understand our own emotions. If we haven't fully processed our feelings, silence is often the best course of action. When you're in the midst of strong emotions, whether it's sadness, frustration, or even excitement, your words may not accurately reflect your true thoughts. In these moments, silence gives you the space to process your emotions, to understand what you're feeling, and to decide on the best way to communicate. Example: imagine receiving bad news at work. Your first instinct might be to vent your frustrations to a coworker or to react impulsively. But by choosing silence, you give yourself time to process the news and to respond in a more thoughtful, measured way, rather than letting your emotions dictate your words. The next time you're overwhelmed by emotions, practice silence. Allow yourself the time and space to process your feelings before speaking. In doing so, you'll find that your words carry more weight and that you communicate more effectively. 8. When you're dealing with a fool. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy, Marcus Aurelius teaches. In life, you will inevitably encounter people who are unreasonable, who refuse to see reason, and who seek to bring you down to their level. Stoicism advises us that engaging with such individuals is often a futile exercise, and in these moments, silence is the wisest response. Arguing with a fool only drags you into their world of ignorance and negativity. By choosing silence, you show that their words and actions have no power over you. You rise above the situation and maintain your composure. Example: consider a situation where someone is deliberately trying to provoke you with foolish or irrational statements. It could be a colleague, a friend, or even a stranger online. Engaging in an argument with them will likely lead nowhere, but by choosing silence, you demonstrate your strength and self-control. The next time you're faced with someone who is being unreasonable, choose silence. Recognize that engaging with them will only bring you down to their level, and instead, focus on preserving your own peace of mind. 9. When words won't change the situation. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, Marcus Aurelius advises. There are times in life when no matter what you say, the situation won't change. In these moments, silence is often the best response. Accepting that some things are beyond your control is a key tenet of Stoicism, and silence allows you to let go of the need to fix everything with words. Whether it's a difficult situation at work, a personal challenge, or a global event, sometimes the best thing you can do is remain silent. Your words won't change the outcome, but your silence can bring you peace. Example: think about a situation where you tried to convince someone to see things from your perspective, but no matter how much you talked, they remained steadfast in their views. In such moments, silence becomes an act of acceptance. By choosing not to speak, you release yourself from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. The next time you're in a situation where your words won't change the outcome, practice silence. Accept that some things are beyond your control, and focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, actions, and reactions. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom on silence teaches us that it's not only the words we speak that matter, but also the moments when we choose to remain silent. Silence can be an act of strength, a way to protect our peace, and a means to rise above the noise of the world around us. Remember, silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a tool for self-mastery, a way to preserve your inner peace, and a reflection of your commitment to living a virtuous life. As Marcus Aurelius said, silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings. So, the next time you're faced with one of these situations, remember the power of silence. Let it guide you toward wisdom, strength, and peace.